Tiafu salute. Ajoke, what's good?
Siafu, salute, Chief. Everything is well.
Man,
Everything is well.
and good to see you in the morning.
Good to see you this morning.
Hey man, of course, I'm always easy to catch, so we ain't gonna have no problems with that, right?
We're gonna have a great morning. We're not gonna bring up
We ain't
those
gonna bring up no
things.
old stuff.
Not this morning.
We got a gang. Definitely honored to have you on board. Um, did you ever think that you'd be on that side of the microphone and I'd be interviewing you?
uh no. Actually,
Okay.
I never considered this reality, you
Me
know.
neither. Don't worry
We've been
about
in
it.
the trenches together on the same side always.
Beautiful, without a doubt, without a doubt. So check it now. I have your bio and everything, and to me, it's like it'd be a little too damn formal if I just started reading the bio, right?
Yeah.
Because I know you in real life, so it's like and then perhaps and all that. It's really not gonna cut it. Um, for folks who are checking us out, Chef Ajoke or Iya Ajoke, um, we've been knowing each other for almost 20 years. As I mentioned, she is one of the founding members, first five of the FTP movement, you know, and you can catch her in our film, Organizing is the New Cool, you know. In fact, as far as our Feed the People program, it was because of her that we actually got it started. So I wanted to give her credit for the work that she's done and assisted. And for the past damn near 20 years, we've done everything from schools to spoken
Yes.
word to
Yes.
a little bit of everything. But
Absolutely.
yes, yes, yes. So today I want to bring you on to talk about some of your talents besides the work, and I know that for one, you are a would you call yourself a master seamstress? I mean, what would be the correct title for that?
I would say a seamstress. I am a master tailor's daughter,
Right on.
and so, and everything that we do is so connected. We talk about how we met and got involved with FTP and the community work, but all of it is an extension of what I came up with, you know.
Right on.
Um, I sew because my father sewed. I cook food because all my elders cooked. I feed the community because my family did the same. You know what I mean? And so it's all connected. It's just different sides of the same coin,
Right
different
on.
sides of the same coin, and all of it's necessary.
So give us some background because and I'm glad you said it the way you said it. Let's take us back for folks who are unfamiliar with you. Give them a little brief bio if you don't mind.
Ah, so my birth name is Malika Hameen. Some who've known me for a long time would know me as that name. It is still my name. A cultural name that was given to me was Ajoke, which more people know me as current day. Um, but she's the same person. Everything that I'm about is about furthering who and what our people are, who our people have been, what we've done, and pushing that culture forward. In that is also the protection of our people, right? And the elevation of our people. Culture is dynamic. It grows, it morphs, it moves based on proximity and and current environment. And so that's what we are. We are a new African, as we like to say a lot. When we talk about those of us here in the diaspora. And for me, while the African connection is there, we're very clear about the continent from which we came. What is most important to me is the genius of our ancestors on this side of the water and what we've been able to create out of the ugliest of circumstances, out of, the leftovers, the scraps. And so, whether that be in our food, whether it be in our music, whether it be in our dances, all of what we are here is important to me, to hold up in the face of everything and to protect, against all odds, that we are able to continue to grow and thrive as a people on this side of the water.
No doubt. How important to you and what role does African culture play in your life? Because I think that one of the things that it's often glossed over or overlooked or overshadowed is the culture aspect. You know what I
Well,
mean?
I mean, and it's everything. It is really the foundation of everything. There is no separation of me from the culture of our people. There's no separation of me, from the struggles of our people. So even when we talk about food and the fact that the discipline that I put forth in my cuisine is Afrofusion, right? Afrofusion, by definition, is birthed in joint oppression. So when we talk about Caribbean cuisine, we can't not talk about the Indian, influence, the Chinese influence, because just like our people were taken from our homelands and brought into the Caribbean as, enslaved people and laborers, so were the Indians, so were the Chinese, right? And so curry was given to us by the Indian culture. As much as we love pepper steak, we got that from the Chinese. And so for me, Afrofusion is a victory of, again, how our oppression allowed us to still build something beautiful and delicious. You understand? So there is no separation. The culture is always present. It's the foundation for everything we are and everything we do. And
So
I
let's yeah, let's talk about that, the food, because without a doubt, you got skills on the pots and pans. I don't, them vegan cheesecakes. Hey, listen, y'all, she make a vegan sweet potato cheesecake, and that joint right there is like enough to slap like 8 crackers. Um, at the same time, rah rah. What you said your elders cook, so on and so forth. Let's talk about, because you mentioned curry and the seasonings. How does that relate to our culture and the food, the palate, so on and so forth. You know, let's talk about that. Just the because food is almost a spiritual thing as well
It's
when it comes to
absolutely
it.
a spiritual thing. I have a great uncle James that passed many years ago, right? This is on my mother's side. And he was known for his food. I mean, by everybody. You understand? And so I grew up a lot of times when we're mixing certain things, like, say, a potato salad, right? Or whatever. We use our hands to mix, not necessarily spoons. Of course, our hands are clean. It's nothing like that. There's no contamination. But I
Right.
remember asking my Uncle James when I was, very young, like, why do we mix food with our hands? He said, how are you going to put the love in it if you don't touch it?
Hmm.
You know what I mean? It is a spiritual thing. The energy that we have and that we keep when we cook these foods, the prayers, the incantations, the memories that come back when I'm cooking, of being in the kitchen with my grandmother and being shown, what I'm saying, how to devein collard greens and all of these things. All of this is a part of what you eat when you eat my food. You understand? All of these lessons, all of that love and the intention of it being good, not just for your soul and your spirit, but your physical body. The fact that soul food cooking, or what we consider soul food cooking, is based on love. you know it's based on understanding that this is a way that we were never stopped from expressing our love for each other. We may not have been able to laugh and play on a plantation. We may have had to calm our children down, you know what I mean, and not show joy outwardly, but we were never stopped from cooking food. We were
You know,
never stopped. So it was a vessel that we were always able to use to communicate. You understand? And so it's powerful. It's immensely powerful. But when we talk about culture, even the things that we may consider, traditional American soul food, Black Southern soul food, is still Afrofusion. So if we're talking about red rice coming from the Gullah Geechee folk, it's our interpretation on this side of the water of jollof rice. When we talk about New Orleans and all this cuisine, from shrimp Creole to red beans and rice and all of this, you're talking about a mix of cultures between the colonizers in terms of the French, right? The Native Americans that we came into contact with as we were brought out of Haiti and into Louisiana. So there is no separation. It's always been a migration and growth of our culture and the way that we choose to cook our food.
you talked about the whole soul food aspect. One of the things that I love, that your family is, or pardon me, our family is in is been tasked to do, as far as our organization, the FTP movement, the CIFU, so on and so forth.
Hmm.
Um, you've put together a. There are times when we get together to just break bread.
Yes.
So I want you to talk about that and the importance of it, because what happens is there are a lot of organizations out here, and I think that an aspect that many lack is the ability to get together with family, to get
Yes.
together, to break bread, to train together, to eat together, to live together. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to our brother Balogun. I seen him in the chat as well.
Hmm.
I know that he just had a daughter, him and
Yes.
Yalagun.
Congratulations,
So
Baba.
definitely, shout out to them as well. But yeah, I want to talk about the importance of that, because I think that part of the way that we've been able to sustain is that we don't operate as an organization that meets and we just talk that talk, and then we see you at a rally and we don't know where you live and all that type of stuff.
Right.
So talk about the importance of these gatherings.
So, I'm a child of the South. I like to say, I'm a saltwater red clay baby. My folk come from North Florida and South Georgia, right? And so I grew up with Sunday dinners being a major factor in my family. And so every Sunday we got together. Food was cooked. We all added on and brought on. A lot of times Saturday nights, you're preparing the dish that you're going to bring over to Sunday dinner. It wasn't about age and other things you had going on. You understood you needed to show your face because it was the way for us to recharge and to heal, to love on each other, to recuperate from whatever we had gone through that week prior, and to be strong enough to go forward in the week to come. And so to sit down at a table, to cook food with the intention of loving your people and healing your people, your family, your likes, whatever terms we want to use, and to be able to do that freely, not contrived, you know what I mean? Not highfalutin necessarily, but to say we're going to make time to come together and to repair ourselves together and to share the love that we have with each other around food, which is a very traditional thing with African folk, this side of the water and not. That, we come together over food as a way to heal, repair, and to celebrate. There's a Ugandan proverb that governs the Mwaza company, and it says, relationship is in the eating together. You know, it's where you can decompress. You're sitting at the table. How was your week? What's going on? What you looking to do? All of these kinds of things where you have that support, where you can feel your best self to go back out into the world and be your best self. And so that is something that I'm working to bring back more regularly. So you were present at our first private Sunday dinner, with our very close family folks that we've been in the trenches with. And it was absolutely healing. I have a picture of me and you hugging right before we sat down at the table. And even in the picture, you see the release, that energy gave us, to not be, uh, to not have to be on, to be able
We'll go
to,
mode. Right.
yeah, to not be in go mode all the time, because we are human beings. We're not machines. Even though a lot of times in this society we're forced to work and act like machines, we're people. We're
Right
human
on.
beings, and we have to allow space for that. And food
Right.
is the perfect catalyst.
I'm thinking back. It's funny because I'm sitting here um and just taking a journey back. I'm thinking about uh my baby nieces who are grown women now.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So um, you know, people don't understand our relationship. And the same goes with Balagoon. I was just thinking the other day about um his daughter Yami, who is in high school. And when I first met him, she was jumping up out the out the stroller and whatnot. We're in class. She trying to climb out the
Yeah.
stroller. Now she's taller than me, and our sister Taj, and watching her babies grow, and now she's a grandmother, and it is a beautiful thing to So I'm just partly reminiscing. I'm listening to what you're saying. Um, I know you have a book, newsletter, and a website out. But before I go to that, because we have a few minutes, I want to talk about because we mentioned spirituality,
Yes.
and I know that you are a priest as well. So can you speak on that, on the tradition and the importance of the spiritual aspects and what it is that you do?
So I'm a priest of Eshu in the Yoruba tradition. And when we talk about food, even from a spiritual aspect, when we talk about the Orisha, right, and these deities that we appease, when we talk about our ancestors, um, feeding them is a part of the ritual, you know? And so it is symbolic, at an ancestor shrine, we would put out food for our ancestors and generally food that they favored, the things that they ate and that they liked, as a way of two things. One, saying, thank you. We honor what it is that you've given us. And two, saying, come and be with me, come and eat with me, even in that. Do you understand what I mean when I say the power of food as the catalyst? So as the food sits and it naturally starts to deteriorate, it is symbolic of them coming and joining us over a meal, right? It is us showing gratitude to them. So, in every aspect, and that exists in the New World as well. So, the Yoruba tradition, coming out of Nigeria is one thing, but we talked about culture being dynamic and how it morphs, right? And changes. So, in the New World, whether we call it voodoo, whether we call it leukemia, whether we call it hoodoo, you know what I'm saying? When I came into Ifa, when I was, brought into that particular tradition, so many things were familiar to me just from the things I got from my family. When I first, learned or saw omiero being made, which is like a spiritual cleaning, right? And there's herbs and leaves. It reminded me of the whole ritual of what we do when we devein collard greens and how we wash the greens. So there's so much that is so very connected, but food is in and all through all of it. You know what I mean? That's the greatest and the most common offering that we give our spirits in the old world and the new world. And so yes, it is totally spiritual.
No
Totally
doubt.
spiritual.
No doubt, no doubt. We have a few minutes, but I want to talk about. I know you have a new book coming out. You also have the website, which
Hmm.
folks can check out. And the website is mawaza online.com. We'll put it in the uh, in the chat. But
Hmm.
talk to us about your new book, Transformation Back to Self.
So transformation back to self is super special and important to me. Um, and it's even a call or an answer to destiny's call in a lot of ways for me when it comes to health with our people, and then the health industry right now. I've rejected a lot of the ways that things have been posed. You have to be vegan or you're gonna die. Everything you eat has to be organic or you're gonna die. You can't, it's all these rules. And it doesn't work for our people because it's not obtainable for a lot of us. And so what happens in the way that it's presented, we just do nothing. We never talk about all the levels and degrees, right, that exist in anything, right? So, your goal may be up here, but you got all these steps that can be taken, right, before you can get up here that still better your quality of life. And as a people, especially, here in the diaspora, health is not where it should be for most of us. And most of us have kind of just accepted it. As I get older, I'm going to get heavier. My quality of life is going to diminish. And there's really nothing I can do about it. At my heaviest, I was about 238 pounds. Now, to put it in perspective, I'm 4 foot 11 and a half inches. That's an extreme amount of weight. And I remember when I accepted that this was just my reality. You know what I mean? This is just where I was. I've had 3 children and all of this kind of thing. And this is what I'm stuck with. So I remember when I gave up on the idea of being able to have control, right, over the quality of my life. And so transformation back to self was inspired by my own journey when I realized that none of those things were true. and that I didn't have to sacrifice uh, good tasting food, foods and ingredients that I was accustomed to eating, that I like to eat. Uh, I'm now a size 8, but at my heaviest, I was a size 20. I don't
Mm.
even know my weight because it wasn't about that. It was about enhancing the quality of my life. So the scale wasn't a part of it. So transformation back to self is about helping us, especially our people, to understand the changes that can be made in small scale that lead to big results, to remind us that a quality of life and good health and longevity is our birthright and it's absolutely obtainable. It's not that far fetched. You understand? And to understand that for us to have good health and wellness, it's about a lot more than just what we put in our mouths. So we approach healing and wellness in this book, in the companion workbook, from a physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional level. We have to deal with all of those things because the weight we hold, the diseases that we attract, is not just about the foods that we eat.
Well, listen, Ajoke, always good to see you. Of course, we got work to do, so you'll be hearing
Wonderful
from
to
me
see
later on
you
today.
too. I'm gonna
Um,
hold you to that. Now you said that publicly. You understand? You put yourself
we
out
bring it,
there.
Minister Server, talk to her.
Yeah,
Uh,
today, not tomorrow, not next week, right? You
we
said
got it. We
today.
got it. We got
Okay.
meetings. We're gonna do it. Ia Joke also helps to make sure I'm in order with organizational work or whatever, So she also runs interference. So if you can't contact me, contact a Joke.
And I will
And
get him in a chokehold for you. Absolutely.
hey, but this is the website right here for folks to check out. And wiseronline.com. I see a few people in the chat already said they signed up for the newsletter. It is
Hmm.
a powerful, excellent newsletter. Make sure you support her work, the book. When she talked about this transformation of self, the wildest thing about it is I remember I hadn't seen her in a while,
Yep.
and I showed up at one of the comrades' party birthdays, and
Hmm.
she looked at me and spoke to me, and I said, "Peace, how you doing, sis?" And I kept walking past her.
Yeah,
I'm
you
like,
you absolutely didn't recognize me, and
yeah,
that happens a lot if people hadn't seen me in a while,
right,
um, because I've literally lost a whole person, and
right,
it's even funny when I look at older pictures of myself, I don't recognize her anymore, and that's a
right.
good thing.
It's a
I
powerful
like
thing.
this version much better,
Yes,
much better.
you still stress me out, but it's okay.
That's my
Anyway,
job.
love you. Be safe, sis. We'll talk to you soon. Make sure y'all go check out mwazaonline.com. This is the Remix Morning Show. That's Ia Joke, Chef Joke. Till next time. Siafu salute.
Peace. Siafu salute.